welcome back to the channel, and today a quick review for this. This is The Bonehunters by Erikson. This is book 6 in Malazan Book of the Fallen. It is the 7th Malazan book I have read, and it is a beast. I think this paperback comes in at 1,203 pages. That is excluding all the additional stuff. It's excluding all of the different, things about characters and races and magic, and Erikson has lots of extra pages in here, so it's probably close to 1,300 pages, but the story is 1,203 pages long. That comes in, it comes in under 400,000 words. I think only Total of the Hounds actually hits that magic number. This is probably like 385,000 words. Took me about 2.5 weeks to read, but I'm a slow reader. But what I would suggest is with Malazan, there are a lot of nods and winks, and there's a lot of things that are happening which aren't spelt out for you. And it does help if you've got a slow reading style for you to stay on top of things. I feel like 9 out of 10 of the winks and nods, things that have been alluded to earlier in the series, I've managed to maintain that knowledge. It does help that I'm kind of reading one of these every 6 to 8 weeks. Because I think if I waited for these to come out, I mean, Erikson released this in 2007. If I was waiting for each volume to come out, I'd probably forget too much of this series personally, but maybe that says more about me and my memory. But yeah, I'm finding it's working really, really well. Now, what's interesting about this is it's set on Genebakis and it's set in the Seven Cities region, but it is in my opinion, this is the first true sequel novel in the series, and that's very, very exciting. And it's probably going to make a lot of people angry, because I would consider those first 5 books, yes, that's like over 4,000 pages, as one book almost. It's kind of the first volume, and this is really the start of, for me, what feels like the second volume. It takes main characters from all of those first 5 books and Knight of Knives by Ian C. Esselman, and it brings them all into one book. Now, not every main character, there are a couple of notable exclusions. I'll leave that up to your imagination. I was surprised, but it brings back certain characters from every single book. That's so interesting. This is the first time that a Malazan book to me has felt like a normal modern epic fantasy novel. It's very much, if you read the likes of Robert Jordan, George R.R. Martin, Brandon Sanderson, this is going to feel more relatable. You're going to feel more at home with this novel than maybe the 5 that preceded it. And that's gonna, some people will like that, some people won't necessarily like that. But I found it super, super interesting. It was a real change of pace. It feels like we're getting all those storylines progressed at the same time. It's very, very exciting stuff. The quality of the prose I feel like Erikson's found that quality level now. There's less that I felt needed to be edited out here than in previous entries. I feel like the last books 4, 5 and 6, we're seeing that quality plateau. Erikson's writing he's nailed it to the point. It feels very, very consistent at this point. Loads and loads of great characters here. What's really, really interesting is the power levels have been going up. The stakes have been notched up to the point. Now, when we have fights, when we have magical duels in this world now, it's kind of like Dragon Ball-esque. These guys are ridiculously powerful, very hard to imagine just how powerful they are. People are effectively just brushed aside by these super beings when they fight, and it's very grandiose. It's very it's larger than life. It's kind of crazy, some of the scenes in this novel. The humor is still there, but it has less of a focal point. There aren't necessarily as many humorous chapters or moments, because those humor only characters are less pronounced in this novel, but it's still there and it's of a good quality still. Now, it's not the perfect novel. A lot of people say 1,200 plus pages, very self-indulgent. There's a lot of tangents in there. Erikson will digress. He will go off and maybe give an uneven amount of page time to certain characters, moments, descriptions. It's his work at the end of the day, and he's doing what he wants to do, and that leaves it maybe a little bit, from hitting the very, very highest heights. Some people will say it needs distilling a little bit more, but I might even say that this is the most fun I've had with a Malazan novel so far. It's really, really good stuff. I couldn't really recommend it anymore. I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. really consistent stuff by Stephen Erikson. The last 3 books that I've read by him, it's hard to pick faults. You know, yes, maybe there's, you know, the perfect 5-star novel in 1,000 pages in here somewhere. But yeah, I mean, you've got to just, you know, tip your hat to the absolute audacity of what he's managed to put in a single volume. It's just crazy. It beggars belief sometimes. Yeah, The Bonehunters, 4.5 out of 5.